Cleveland, Ohio. All right, everybody, it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker of our press conference, Roxanne Groff, former county commissioner of Athens County. She's been a great mentor, and she has worked with activists for decades to shut down various injection wells in Athens County, work on strip mining issues, and a whole host of other things around the state of Ohio. But I'm going to let Roxanne tell you about it, okay? Everybody give a big round of applause for our first speaker.
My friends here. So, yeah, we have climate today, right? Was not expected to be this cold, but we don't care because we're hardcore and we're here on a mission.
Right.
So, why are we here? We're here because there's 132 lawmakers that work in our house, and they need to be educated, and they need to understand the harms of the oil and gas waste that the oil and gas industry produces in the exploration and extraction of oil and gas in Ohio. So, what is this oil and gas waste made of? Well, some of you have got it on your signs. It's radioactive, it's radioactive, it's radioactive. And I don't know what else they need to freaking know about it except that it's full of radioactivity. In addition to that, volatile organic compounds. When they're in tanks, that stuff blows up. That's what blew up. That's waste doing. It's being spread on our roads. Most people do not know that their townships and their counties made a decision to spread toxic radioactive waste on their roads. Most people do not know that townships and counties spray their gravel piles with toxic radioactive waste from oil and gas.
Oh, we know. We know.
Now, Jim Kettler knows from Coshocton and has been fighting it for years. So, we're here today to educate our lawmakers about the harms that are inflicted upon unwittingly knowing people who don't understand this. They don't know about it. It's their responsibility to deal with this. And who are we? We are teachers, nurses, scientists, journalists, workers, grandparents, parents, children, lawyers, doctors, sportsmen, all who have concerns about oil and gas waste. All of us have those concerns. And we are going to go in today into the atrium and have a really fun time, eat some great lunch from Freedom a la carte, and hear stories from the people in Ohio, mostly from Appalachia where this is happening, and people are being subjected to. We're going to go in, you're going to hear stories from all of us who have been working on this issue for years. You're going to hear about injection wells. You're going to hear about the lax laws and rules that are in the state of Ohio that do not protect us. And that's because our lawmakers are not taking on the responsibility that they should to make laws that do protect us. That's what we expect of them. That's what we want them to hear from us today. And this is just the beginning, or this is actually the ongoing. So these stories are coming from facts, that data that is collected and kept by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. We're not making this up. They have the facts. And you're going to hear those today. So when we go in, that's what you're going to be hearing. It's going to be a great session to hear the truth. And my good friend Randy, Dr. Randy Poklodnik, because I think Randy's speaking next, right?
Yeah.
And this is one awesome. This is one kick-ass awesome woman, I'm telling you. I worked with Randy for years. And the amount of knowledge that she has about all of these subjects is astounding. And she tells truth to power. So, Dr. Poklodnik, would you like to
Give
come
it
up?
up. Give it up for Dr. Andrews.
do it without that.
You think so?
I
All
think
right.
so.
She's up for the
Yeah,
challenge.
let me know. Can you guys all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm using my teacher voice. Okay, I drove in with my husband this morning from Harrison County. As soon as we cross over the Tappan Lake Dam, we see brine trucks coming down the street. We live in the second most fracked county in the state right now. We take turns with Carroll County, Guernsey County, Harrison, Shawkees from Belmont County, but it's a heavily fracked area. So you're going to see these innocuous little brine trucks everywhere, and they see brine on the side, and most people, including, we found out yesterday, our primary care physician, didn't have any idea what was in these brine trucks.
Right.
So I had made a copy of the front of Justin's book, and I gave it to him, and I said, you need to read this if you're a doctor and you're working with people in this area. So how did we get to this mess? Well, back in the 1980s, when the politicians had a chance to label this as hazardous material, they decided in their infinite wisdom that it was better to not do that. It would be an economic burden to the industry. So they did label it, and they left it up to the states. So did Ohio label it as hazardous materials? No, they left it as brine too. So most people think this is brine. And of course it is salty, but it's not even close to brine. This is up to 100 times more salty than ocean water. So how did this come to be? Well, when they frack and they shoot the fracking fluids down in there, they're shooting 400 plus different chemicals. And those chemicals have been labeled by the endocrine exchange as being endocrine disruptors. We know there's carcinogens in there. We know these aren't anything that we want our families to be subjected to. Once that's down deep into the earth, that's laying there next to brine. Now the brine's been down there for the millennia, and this is where the deposits of oil and gas are. When they pull that up, that's now got anything that was down there with the brine. And radium is water soluble, so that comes up with the brine waste, along with all the other chemicals that they've injected down there. So some of those chemicals can be things like benzene, which is a known carcinogen, toluenes. They have surfactants, they have biocides, they have corrosion inhibitors. It's just a little industrial laboratory that they shoot down inside of these fracked wells and then pull that back up. Then they load that into these brine trucks and they drive them through our communities. I was at a rally on Tuesday, and there were 3 different brine trucks that drove right through New Philadelphia, right past the stores and the boutiques and the restaurants. I've been in Carroll County. I've sat and counted 14 in 2 hours go through the county. So they're everywhere, especially in places where they're fracking, and unfortunately that happens to be our area. I guess through all the years, and I'm going to be 70 in a couple of months, I've learned one thing. We cannot depend on our politicians to protect us. We have to do the science.
Yes.
I thought I was going to retire and just kick back and enjoy the grandkids, and this is what I end up doing, because I can't stand to shut my mouth and let them woo! So I'm the big mouth man, and my grandkids know that and accept that. But we have to speak out. We have to really educate more people. They need to know what's driving up and down the streets through Carroll County, through New Philadelphia, through Belmont, through Harrison County. This is not pickle brine. This is dangerous stuff. And the drivers are being exposed to it, and we're going to be exposed to it. So this is something that I've tried to do, educate people. We have to educate our students, because this is going to be the mess that they have to clean up. So I'm glad you all showed up, and I'm happy to work with Roxanne. Her and I are like 2 peas in a pod. So thank you very much, and I hope we're going to learn a lot and meet a lot of nice people today. Thanks. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. What we're going to do next is we're going to go inside. We're going to go through security, head up to the atrium. We're going to grab some lunch. We're going to hear from our presenters. And press, please stick around, because we are testing worker boots.